Hey, how's it going, people in the VC? Hey, I got a new series starting today, and it's called Rediscovering My Collection. Bum, bum, bum. What I want to do is I want to start digging out, some of these old albums and stuff that I just haven't listened to in a while, shake the dust off and talk about them a little bit. I want to talk about some of my favorite albums and maybe some of the valuable ones, financially valuable as well as sentimentally valuable. I have a lot of subjects I want to cover, and so I thought it'd be cool to start a little series called Rediscovering My Collection. Say it like that, big fanfare. So this will be episode 0 because I'm not going to show any of my collection. What I'm going to do, I'm going to tell a little bit about myself. Oh, boring. And then I want to show my music room, which is rad, actually. So, my name is Jim. I'm a music freak. It sounds like an Alcoholics Anonymous thing. My name is Jim, and I'm a music freak for the last 50 years. Oh man, 50 years. I have been a music freak for probably most of that. I can't remember a time when music wasn't playing in our house. Um, my mom was always playing music, 50s, 60s, doo-wop. Um, oh gosh, my brother, my two older brothers were always playing rock and roll from their room, whether it was, Nugent or Elton John, it didn't matter. It was always some rock playing from their room. And I think, as most of you will agree who lived through the 70s and 80s, as I did, that that is the greatest period in music history ever, hands down. As far as I'm concerned, we had the 50s and 60s, and then the 70s and 80s, and that 40-year bracket of music is the greatest period in music history. So you can disagree, but you're wrong. So, oh, yeah, let's have my mom and my brothers. Oh, my oldest brother was the one who kind of got me really into music as I am today. Excuse me. So what happened? I don't know. I think I have allergies today. My throat's all jacked up. Anyways, this is about 78. Well, it had to be 78 because this is when the album came out. My eldest brother Randy had gotten a new album by this band. Okay, they had seen this band around Southern California and Palos Verdes and caught them live and different parties and such. And they finally got the first album that came out by him, and he calls me in his room and he says, "Hey Jim, come here and listen to this." He pops these headphones on me. He has giant 70s headphones, and then he starts the record. He puts a needle in the record. Eruption. Oh my gosh! I was blown away. I'd never heard anything like that before, ever. And uh, Van Halen 1 became my all-time favorite album, just like hands down. Played it all the time. Still play it all the time. But wow. So up until that point, I had been listening to my little 45 hand-me-downs from my older brothers. I guess, as they would get older, they would hand me down these little 45s of, I don't know, the Archies or Partridge Family or like Beatles. They gave me a lot of Beatles, probably because they were scratched or something. I don't know. All these little 45s were scratched. I used to play them on those little record players, that were those cheap children's record players. But speaking of the Beatles, my mom took me to see Beatlemania, and like a shark who tasted blood for the first time. Woo! That was it. I mean, between Van Halen 1, Eruption, and Beatlemania, the concert, oh my gosh, I was set. I mean, I knew what my whole life would be from there on out. Music. I couldn't play, so I became a music freak, just, collecting music and listening. So basically, that's my music foundation. So what else about me? I've been happily married for 23 years to my best friend in the whole world. Lisa and I got married in 1997. I adopted her 2 children as my own. They recently blessed us with grandchildren. Darren and Kai are both heading on to their 3rd birthdays, and little Olive was born just a few months back. We sponsor a child in Indonesia through Compassion, little 5-year-old Andika. I am a Christian. Back in '89, I started studying religions, cults, philosophies, humanism, atheism. I studied everything I could get my hands on. It's like 7 years of studies. After studying the Christian Bible, historically, geographically, linguistically, all the Khalees, I did come to the inescapable conclusion that that was the absolute truth. There's no way to get around that as far as I was concerned. And to this day, I still believe that very strongly. I don't believe in the legalisms, the institutions and the churches that are rampant today, taking people's money and, it's all for financial gain and crap like that. I don't believe that is the Jesus that is in the scriptures, the historical Jesus. And as far as legalism goes and stuff, he either did it all for us or he didn't. So you're either working for it or you aren't. And in my beliefs, as far as what I've read and understand very clearly, he did all the work for us. Thank God he did, because I can't do nothing. That's my worldview. What else? Oh, I was a registered pharmacy technician, certified. Now, I did that for 25 years before they found me disabled. I have severe disc degeneration. It's hereditary. I'm full of osteophytes and arthritis and just jacked up. A lot of pain. One of my surgeons said my spine looks like an 80-year-old's. I've had 4 surgeries to remove herniated discs and fuse the levels. After 10 years of surgeries with 4 more levels needed to be done, a judge looked at my medical records and found me permanently disabled. So that's where I am today. But hey, enough depressing stuff. Let's tour the room! Welcome to Jim's Music Room. I don't get very many visitors, so this is kind of exciting for me. Step on in. Oh, first, though, I was going to give you guys a little background. So in the early 2000s, I started selling off my physical collection in favor of, the whole new digital era of music. We basically didn't have any room in the house to store my huge music collection, and it was in boxes and such. So I just sold off a lot of it, and most of it, and went digital. It didn't last long, though, because I totally missed the feel of the albums, the tangibility, the smell, the sound of the records, all the stuff. I don't need to go into all that, because my fellow music freaks, you guys know that stuff. So by the time my first back surgery came along, I had already started recollecting, I should say. My prior music room started when my last kid moved out. It was really crude for my taste, though. There's albums in storage, closets, a simple shelving unit for the CDs. Just really wasn't my thing. So when the grandkids came in 2017, my wife suggested moving my music room, which is what this used to be, into the other side of the house. We have a room on the other side of the house, and that I could, dedicate it just to that and build it really nice. And of course, I was all for that, because she wanted this room for the grandkids, for their toys, and for, bedroom for a sleepover and such. So I knew exactly what I wanted for my new music room. I had just the right plans. I always liked the way, music stores were set up. So I drew up some ideas, some little blueprint deals there, and I ended up settling on this particular one. And that took me a lot longer to build since my back's all messed up, and I had to have a lot of help carrying the wood, some of the other heavy stuff. I'm only allowed to lift under 20 pounds because of my spine problems. So it was nice to have a lot of help from my wife. She is wonderful. And I think she's pretty happy with how it turned out, too. So let's go ahead and check it out. Woohoo! Let's start with the entry, because I thought this was cool. I made this little gate because I have grandkids and little doggies, and I don't want any of them in here, obviously, for obvious reasons. So I built this little gate, and it closes up like, has a little latch here thing, but it goes like a so, and then you just latch it on there like so, and it closes and keeps the little guys out, much to their dismay. So you walk on in, and here we go. Got my posters on the wall, and my Van Halen tribute. A lot of glare on that, but that's my 1984 Van Halen concert that I went to, which I'm a huge, huge Van Halen fan. It's kind of getting messy. I'm just kind of like sticking things on posters now. I got concert tickets and things. There's one under back there that's gotten covered up by CDs, but a lot of cool stuff on there. Some autographed things. I got some autographed ones on top up there as well. Thanks to my buddy Ryan Jennings for getting me a whole bunch of those. And up top we got CDs. This is the beginning part. So I'll show you without the fish lens thing, fisheye lens. We got CDs on top, and then they continue to there, up over there, just an exact copy of the first side, and then over here, A through Z, as it were. And then some overflowing over here, a lot of comedy and stuff, parody music. So yeah, those are the CDs, and then I've got my record collection. This side is just the rock, light rock, pop, mellow stuff, and it continues over to here in the middle there, which is where the whole music center is, my music decks. Down on the bottom, I've got my punk. What you do is you pull this out like so. It's just terrible on my back, but I'll figure it out someday. I'd like to put wheels on it, but there's no room. It just slides out like so. And then my greatest hits are there as well. We got box sets down yonder, as well as box sets up here, across the top there. And then there's more CDs there. And then this side is the metal and hard rock, A through Z, all the way through. I got some more posters there, black and white glossies. And you can tell I'm into balance. I like balance. It's got to be just right. So then I got more posters up yonder. And my battle jacket hanging on over here. My Tychus hat from my buddy Justin Freer, who's passed recently. Miss that guy. He's awesome. Yeah, this is my jacket here put together. I drew most of these because you either can't find the patches for them or they're too pricey. So I drew a little Exploited and all these cool Christian bands back here. And then I got some autographs, which is cool. That was Scott Waters' idea. He says, why don't you have these guys sign your, there's Scott right there. Why don't you have some of these guys sign your jacket? And I was like, oh, that's a cool idea. So ever since then, I have had people sign my jacket, and came out really cool. I dig this one too. I had Derek Riggs, artist for Iron Maiden, draw this part for me. which was pretty cool. So yeah, it's my jacket, my once dead shirt back there. I got all my toys up here, you know, little silly things that, I don't know, my second childhood, I guess. I got my up next section there. I like to put things that I'm listening to and reading and stuff. And then now playing right there. And some of my other toys, childhood toys there as well. Nothing special here. I mean, I made this cover, which is kind of cool. It's put a little wire in here, keep it straight. And then I sewed it all around. Who said heavy metalers can't sew, right? That's what battle jackets, and these kind of things are for. So, I got my basic deck here. Anders Nicholson does everything. CD recorder, record player, cassette on the side. You can record to CD directly or to computer. Same with this one. The Audio Technica records to computer if you want, or USB kind of a setup. And oops. And I love this one. This is my new deck, but it doesn't have auto return, which I always thought was kind of lame. That's why I love this one, because when it gets to the end of the record, it puts it away for you. And come in here later after getting interrupted, and the record's still at the very end going. So there you go. Basic amplifier, Kenwood 5-disc. Nothing special, nothing expensive, because I don't have money. Record cleaner. Over here is where I do my reading, thinking work, whatever. And I have all my DVDs over here. So next to, there's Vic Rattlehead up there. I made him a few years back. And then I put all my DVDs. These are concerts and videos all the way down here. And then at the very bottom are movies. So I got movies that start there with Airheads and then goes all the way over there. So, and I got a whole bunch of bootlegs in there too. So homemade deals. Working on a lot of projects, as you can see, as always. I got my free TV that I got on the side of the road in the trash once and fixed it. So happy about that. Yeah, just some more DVDs and stuff there. I got my Little Rascals, Beavis and Butthead, Three Stooges, all the best, Ren and Stimpy. And I have my guitar over here. No, I don't play. I don't play very well, but it's just fun. I was kind of in a band in high school, not a very good one, called No Remorse. So that was a lot of fun. And finally, I guess I'll show you that too. It's a little messy over here. I got some projects going over here too, but this is my my bookcase. Got all my studies I do up here, and then I have my music down here. My wife's cookbooks. Well, kind of mine too. I do all the cooking. There's a lot of magazines and biographies and junk down there, and then my wife's books down there. So there you go, kids. That is my music room. Hope you enjoyed that as much as I enjoy being in my room. I spent a lot of time in here, as you can tell. So yeah, stay tuned for some other videos that I'll be making in this series. Episode 1, this is episode 0 because I'm just showing and talking and blah blah blah. But episode 1 is going to be the Gimme 10 challenge about the autism awareness. So stay tuned. I'll be filming that this week. Take care. God bless you guys.